Hello, my friends. Welcome back. In the last lesson, we addressed the challenges you experienced that may seem unrelated, like shoulder and neck stiffness, light sleep, or emotional instability. In fact, they all share a common root, which is qi stagnation and qi disorder. Through your practice, have you all been able to discern the flow of qi within your body? However, today, we are going to pose a more profound inquiry. Why is it that the same traffic congestion transpires? Some people can swiftly resolve it, while others experience constant congestion. Why the same treatment method? Some people have a lasting effect, while some people have recurring occurrences. It's just like a river. On the surface, it seems like the water flow is obstructed, but the real question is the upstream water supply about to run out. The flow is becoming weaker. It is unable to pass through the silt. This water supply is like the core topic we're discussing today, called qi deficiency. Qi deficiency is not merely feeling tired. It means your life energy that is decreasing. Your internal organs are not functioning strongly enough. Today, we will go through a series of practice to help you sense where the reservoir of your life energy truly stands. Generally speaking, people with qi deficiency will exhibit a series of typical signals in their body. Perhaps you sweat with very little movement, or breaking into a heavy sweat, just a few steps. Perhaps you are easily overcome by exhaustion, and it's obvious their physical strength is insufficient. Your spirit feels dim, and your head may feel light or foggy. Then, the complexion also turned pale or sallow. Their eyes lack energy, and they appear completely listless. Lack of speech and reticence, lack of strength or ability to do something. Just saying a few words makes them feel utterly exhausted. It might even be misunderstood as being too lazy to explain. It may seem as though you do not care. In truth, you simply don't have the energy to care, but the limbs are heavy. They feel as though they never really woke up when they wake up in the morning. They simply want to lie down, even if they have no desire to sleep. And they are prone to catching colds repeatedly with weakened immunity, particularly during seasonal changes. It is simple to get sick. These signs may seem insignificant. Some might refer to this as a persistent condition of depletion in contemporary terminology. However, in conventional Chinese medicine, it points back to one thing: qi deficiency. Simply put, it's a lack of vitality in the body. Now, let us do a simple self-check. Please stand up, my friends. Keep your feet shoulder-width apart. Let your arms hang naturally at your sides. First, feel the present state of your body. You can close your eyes. Stand quietly and simply remain there. Do nothing at all. After 30 seconds, ask yourself, do my legs feel like they want to bend because I can't stand still? Feel the waist is going to give out. Or perhaps your shoulders. Do you feel like something is about to drop? Come, my friends, let's take 10 seconds to feel it. Look. Once you felt it, remember that feeling you just had. Keep it firmly in mind. Now, let's make a comparison. Follow my instructions from now on. First, take one deep and steady breath. Then imagine this breath traveling all the way down to the soles of your feet. As you inhale, feel your entire spine gently stretching and lifting. Feel fully, then exhale and soften. Repeat this movement 3 times. Follow along with me. And then notice how your body feels. Go back to the first step. what you need to do is simply stand still in that state. Now, feel it again. After taking a deep breath, do you notice any difference? Do you feel that your body can sustain itself better now, as though you have found your root again? Actually, the contrast is quite obvious. The first scenario is when you're standing still and calm. You'll find yourself unable to stand steadily. There's a sense of attempting to collapse. But when you use this breathing technique after doing it 3 times consecutively, you'll notice that in an instant, you feel refreshed and clear-headed, a feeling of calm qi and quiet spirit, as though your whole being has finally let out a long-held breath. So the little comparison we just did was actually to let you personally verify something. When qi is full within your body, when there is that internal support, your body feels light and quietly supported. When qi grows weak and depleted, the body feels heavy, as though it is sinking downward. This is one of the most direct ways depleted qi can be felt. Of course, qi deficiency doesn't just affect the body. It touches your emotional state and goes much deeper. Perhaps your spirit often feels low. Things you loved no longer call any vitality from you, or you tend to overthink, entangled in clutching and loss-related anxiety, yet unable to move with clarity. Or when you completely lose control of your emotions and you are no longer able to control your feelings. Even a very small matter can trigger a huge emotional reaction. Might throw a huge tantrum or start an argument, even sulk in silence. Your spirit might easily feel agitated and uneasy, and occasionally even afraid on the inside. You begin worrying over things that have not yet happened, and a vague unease rises for no reason. A lot of people often begin to reflect on themselves repeatedly when dealing with emotional problems. You might think it's because you're not disciplined enough, or your willpower is lacking, but actually, that's not the case. It is because your qi has grown depleted. Your qi is no longer returning to its root. As a result, your entire mental and emotional state, like duckweed upon water, you respond to even the smallest alteration in the outside world. Now, let's do an exercise, so you may directly feel the relationship between qi and emotion. Please listen to what I have to say. Listen carefully. Now, please close your eyes. Think of something from recent days that left you a little irritated. It doesn't have to be anything extreme, just something that irritated you a little. For example, being rushed while dealing with work issues, or getting stuck in traffic on your way to work, or you're at the supermarket checking out and someone cuts in line. Think about it. That kind of unpleasant feeling. Now, let's take 10 seconds and feel it. What state your qi takes within you. Take these 10 seconds to fully feel it. After you felt it, when you think back to this incident, have you noticed any changes in your breathing? Does it feel more rapid, shallower, or even like there's a burning sensation in your chest? Right now, we won't deal with those emotions. We'll just focus on your breathing. Use the deep breathing technique we just learned, that is, breathing deeply into your dantian, lower abdomen. Relax slowly. Do it 3 times. Come, join me. All right, now let's feel it again. That thing you just recalled in your mind, did you notice something? Those things, are they really worth all the effort and worry? Is that emotion still there? Doesn't it feel like it's faded a lot? It feels like a burden has been removed, doesn't it? It doesn't seem like such a big deal after all. That is what this experience teaches you. When qi settles, the spirit grows at ease. It is not that the situation itself has changed, but that your qi has begun to move more smoothly. And in that smoothness, the emotion no longer overtakes you. So for people with weak qi, find that the emotions cannot be steadied. Next, let's dive a bit deeper. Weak qi can even affect your interpersonal relationships. Have you ever encountered a situation like this? You plan out what to say to your child, but the moment you open your mouth, you can't help but let your emotions take over. You might even end up yelling or shouting, and then after yelling, you feel guilty. Or perhaps you want to show your care to your partner, but when the words are about to come out, it turns into criticism or complaints instead. You clearly want to seize an opportunity in the workplace. However, regarding the crucial moment, you always feel like you can't find the words or think you're not worthy enough. You don't dare to speak up, so you tend to back down easily. Or when you want to refuse someone's unreasonable request, you have the words on the tip of your tongue, but you feel like you swallow them back down again. It feels like you're really wronging yourself, but you just can't put it into words. We usually attribute this to poor communication skills or a lack of emotional intelligence, a weak personality, and sometimes it even leads to self-blame. You might feel like you're useless or that you messed up the relationship again. But today, I want to share with you all a question you might have never thought about. Let's look at it from a different perspective. The root cause of these issues actually might not be your abilities nor your personality. Instead, it could be because your qi is simply not full enough, not strong enough. I had a student. She's a mom. She struggles most with controlling her wrath toward her children. She signed up for many parenting courses. She knows she needs to be gentle, firm, and empathetic, but when emotions take over, she forgets everything. Every time she lost her temper, she felt incredibly guilty. She felt like a failure as a mom. Until she started practicing breath. One day, she suddenly realized that once she lost her temper, there was a common physical signal. She would feel chest tightness, her chest constricted, and her breathing became shallow. It wasn't the child's fault. It was her own frustration. She couldn't hold it in anymore. Reaching her limit, it was like a balloon on the verge of bursting or a powder keg ready to ignite. A casual word from the child became the last straw that broke her. Later, she learned a simple method. Before losing her temper each time, she would first take 3 deep breaths to calm herself down first. She claimed that suppressing the urge to blow up just needed 3 breaths. It's not that she improved her communication abilities, but that she discovered a way to control his breathing, to suppress the impending emotional outburst. You may think the problem is your temper. However, it is frequently exhausted qi or qi that is no longer flowing freely, and that's why the feelings overflow. There's another student, a project manager. He has very good commercial skills, but every time he finishes reporting to the boss, he gets nervous. When he speaks, he frequently stammers, even though he prepares thoroughly. Once he starts talking, everything changes. It's chaotic. He's tried many methods, like writing scripts. Then he tried speaking in front of a mirror, enrolling in communication courses, and even visiting a therapist. It was unhelpful. Later, he realized that whenever he felt anxious, his qi was curled up in his chest and floating on the surface, obstructing his path and keeping him from releasing it. Thus, when his breath rose in that manner, he is simply in an extremely tense state. Then, his spiritual string would continue to be stretched. And once it's stretched too tight, he starts speaking in a chaotic way. He is also easily sidetracked. Later on, he started practicing standing meditation every day, just for 10 minutes. After a month of patience, I was deeply affected by what he said. He said, "As I stand in front of my supervisor now, my feet are firmly planted on the ground. My qi is settled in the dantian. His look no longer frightens me because I know I have enough qi." You feel that your capacity for self-expression is weak. However, it's really because you don't have enough qi, inadequate aura. You can't stand firm. Let me share another common example. Incapable of saying no. Many people say okay aloud, even when they clearly don't want to agree in their hearts. when others make requests or demands. They say no problem, and then they find themselves stuck in an internal struggle. They feel regretful, they shouldn't have consented, or they felt deeply offended. They are questioning how things came to be this way. Psychology might say this is appeasement psychology. It is caused by problems in the original family. However, if we consider it from the perspective of Qi, in actuality, your capacity to reject people is insufficient. In other words, you don't have enough Qi to refuse other people. Refusing requires energy. You must endure the disappointment of the other person. You must deal with possible disputes. You need to hold your ground. All of this requires Qi as support. For someone with depleted Qi, they can't even take care of their own body or their own state of being. How would they have any extra strength to withstand external pressures? When you're full of Qi, you naturally understand where is your boundaries. What kind of rejection art are you in need of? You don't have to become an expert at refuse. All you need is the courage to say no and stay firmly grounded. The other individual will frequently appreciate you more as a result. It has nothing to do with your poor personality. It's about lacking Qi to hold your ground. So, dear friends, perhaps it's time to adopt an alternative viewpoint. Think about your connections and the problems. Is it merely a communication issue? Or is it that you can't control in your emotions because you lack Qi? Do you lack the ability to express yourself? Not exactly. It's more about your inability to be present due to a lack of Qi, which makes it hard for you to control your words and actions. It's not that you lack the ability to refuse requests. It's that you're lacking Qi at your core, unable to tolerate the strength. Redefining these problems as an energy shortage rather than a competence deficiency, you break free from self-blame. You are not a flawed person. All you need is to replenish your Qi, and Qi can be replenished. Additionally, Qi can be slowly fed until it replenishes itself. Now, let me share with you about my teacher. He is among the finest masters of breath in China. He is now in his 90s, but his body is still remarkably energetic. The enthusiasm, vitality, and energy are all excellent. I asked him, "Master, how do you stay so energetic? What is the secret?" He smiled and wrote a number on the paper. He said, "People are all learning how to use. However, very few people are able to store it. Your body is like a battery. All your activities, thoughts, and emotions run on electricity. No matter how many skills you learn, if you only focus on saving, the total capacity of the battery won't change. It will eventually run out." So I asked him, how should it be stored? He answered with one word: breathing. One inhale, one exhale is the most direct line of replenishment between you and nature. However, this line is disconnected for 99% of people. They're merely gasping for air, but they are not truly breathing. The real method of breathing is to enable each inhalation to store the energy of the cosmos in your dantian. With every breath, you clear your body of the muddy Qi, creating space for fresh energy. This is what we call releasing the old and receiving the new, storing Qi in the inner reservoir. For 10 years, this phrase has been on my mind. It helped me realize ultimately the issue of Qi storage is the root of all the problems. So let's take a closer look at what it means to replenish Qi today, my friends. Let's take the example of Chinese entrepreneur Jack Ma, who you have certainly heard of or are familiar with. He founded Alibaba and altered China's retail environment. But what you might not know is he began to practice Tai Chi and Qigong right after graduating from university for over 30 years now, and he continued to do so. He learned Yang-style Tai Chi by the West Lake. He headed to 9 instructors to learn Tai Chi. Starting from 2009, he hired professional coaches for systematic training. In 2011, he introduced Tai Chi to Alibaba, inviting his employees to practice together. In 2013, after officially stepping down as CEO, the first thing he did was to co-found Tai Chi Zen with Jet Li in Hangzhou, a venue with a Tai Chi cultural focus. He distilled the philosophy of Tai Chi into 3 words: clarity, adaptability, and letting go. Clarity means understanding yourself and future trends. No matter what happens, you must face it calmly. As for adaptability, it implies that you can only fully comprehend how to follow others when you are strong yourself. Letting go means knowing what you really desire to help you determine what to let go of. He claimed that the more he studied Tai Chi, the more he understood that he was essentially adhering to the principles of Tai Chi when operating a business, whether it was managing personnel within the organization or interacting with clients and competitors. A person who has built a world-class company, why is he so fascinated by Tai Chi and Qigong? Because he discovered external business achievements requires inner Qi to support it. Without settled Qi, when faced with intricacy, you can't remain stable. You are also unable to discern the current trends, much less spot a genuine chance when it presents itself. Only when Qi is full can you remain steady. Also, Benjamin Franklin, who is even more familiar to everyone, I think he is a true cross-disciplinary genius. As one of the founding fathers of the United States, he was also a scientist, writer, and diplomat. But what you might not know is that at the age of 20, Franklin created a discipline of 13 virtues and practiced it for 50 full years. He self-reviewed every day, keeping track of his progress and mistakes in a small notebook. He acknowledged that there were a lot of black spots on the table throughout this procedure. Occasionally, he would be shocked to discover that his flaws were actually far worse than he had thought. Still, he continued to do so. In his later years, he said, "Although I never achieved the state of perfection I so deeply desired through hard work, it's true that I've improved and grown happier." Franklin spent his whole life proving one thing: a person's achievements do not depend on talent, but on the ability to keep improving oneself. That is empty, is unable to stand straight. Life itself finds it difficult to remain erect when Qi is missing. Even more interesting is the fact that Franklin's 13 virtues are still used as a framework for debates in MBA programs at American business schools like Harvard University and the University of Chicago. Now, the students, please answer a question. Do Franklin's virtues still hold value in today's business world? I believe this is already demonstrated by the discussion itself. What Franklin has left for us, not those rigid doctrines, but rather the eternal lessons on self-improvement. Looking back at his 13 virtues, have any of you noticed that each of his actions is aimed at storing Qi? For instance, temperance is about managing the Qi of desire. Silence is about managing the Qi of speech. Diligence is about managing the Qi of action. Tranquility preserves the Qi of the heart and spirit. This is Franklin's greatest insight for us, and it's also the most fundamental one. You can only let go of sluggishness, excuses, and self-imposed constraints like "I can't do it" when you have sufficient Qi. Rewrite your own life's script by practicing every day. So, Qi is not only beneficial for your body and emotions, but it is also a fundamental energy that you must cultivate during your life journey. You can only stand tall like a magnificent tree with deeply rooted roots when you have an abundance of qi. The stem itself stays motionless when the wind comes. Only the leaves shake. Facing the chaos and the changes in the outside world, remain calm. Without qi, rejection, uncertainty, or denial are frequently your initial reactions when you come across something novel or unusual. When your qi is replenished, you have the inner capacity to receive, to understand, to absorb, to replenish your qi. Also, this is a way of strengthening your mind to deal with new situations. Most importantly, you cling to old habits without qi and hold on to the thought of, I can't do it, clinging to all sorts of excuses. Once your qi is replenished, you have the strength to let go of the unnecessary and create room for fresh development to achieve self-transcendence. Replenishing qi is never a single dramatic moment. It is a progressive growth path that builds upon itself step by step. The first stage is to gather and nourish qi through opening the joints and refining the breath. Store qi within the body. This is the first step to replenishing your qi. It's also the foundation of all changes. Just like laying the foundation for building a house. If the foundation is unstable, everything else will be in vain. Once you've cultivated enough qi, your body will have the inner support. Then you manage to endure the strain. The second stage is to move that qi through standing meditation. Allow the accumulated qi within the body to spread throughout the entire body. Unblock the meridians to nourish the organs within your body. When the qi is smooth, your emotions will tend to stabilize. Your mind will open up. You'll be able to handle everything from the outside world. The third phase involves reciting scriptures to cultivate qi. When the qi reaches a certain level, it starts in the body and ascends to the spirit world. You'll find out it is finally possible to lay down what was previously unreleasable. You can conquer the obstacles you were unable to. You can only let go when you start to genuinely surpass yourself. Jack Ma transformed his qi into wisdom for business management. Franklin turned his qi into accomplishments that influenced the world. As for me, my friends, qi is my lifetime topic. It nourishes my body and enriches my spirit. It also allows me to have more energy to share my beliefs. What we have done, you also can do. The difference is that we found a way to replenish qi and stuck to it. That's what we are going to do next. Through systematic breathing exercises to build the foundation, open the flow, and refine you upward step by step. This will gently guide and support you in smoothly shifting from a fragile, powerless state to a state filled with immense freedom and boundless autonomy. We have explored a great deal of theoretical knowledge, yet nothing compares to direct experiential practice. Next, I will walk you through the first qi replenishing exercise, a foundational practice of breathing. The purpose of this exercise is to enable you to comprehend the essence of storing qi. Prior to commencing the practice, there are several important pre-practice guidelines to observe. The first is to make sure to empty your bowels and bladder. Practicing with a distended, tense abdomen is prohibited, as this will impede the circulation of qi and disrupt your perception of qi sensation. Second, wear loose-fitting, unrestricted clothing. Your movements must not be constrained by tight garments. Clothing that binds and constricts the body will obstruct the flow of qi and interfere with the practice. And then, the surrounding environment needs to be quiet, no noisy sound. Before practicing, warming up is a necessary step. Gently open and loosen the joints first. Then you're ready to practice. If your joints are blocked and stagnant, your qi flow will struggle to move smoothly through them. Let's practice together first. Master the movements step by step. First, inhale through the nose. Exhale through your mouth. During inhalation, ensure the flow of qi is smooth and continuous. Do not force the breath. Second, during exhalation, the outgoing qi must also flow unimpeded. Avoid intermittent or abrupt breathing. Your movement and your breath must be perfectly integrated. As you initiate the movement, your qi should be fully drawn in. As you complete the movement, your qi should be fully expelled. Integrate them seamlessly and naturally. Follow me and practice the movements first. Inhale through your nose, raise both hands upward. Then rotate your palms and push forward. Shift your torso backward. Throughout this movement, the chest is gently retracted. This creates the posture of hollowing the chest and lifting the back. Ensure your shoulders do not hunch upward. Keep them relaxed and lowered. This allows the qi to flow unobstructed through your upper limbs. Shape your hands into a circular arc. Then rotate your palms and guide them downward. Inhale. Inhale through your nose. Extend and push outward to both sides. At this moment, the chest is fully expanded. Then lower it and inhale again. Push forward. Maintain the posture of hollowing the chest and lifting the back. Do not lean your body forward. That's incorrect. When pushing with your hands, step backward, maintaining your posture. Then take a deep inhalation. Open your arms to the sides. At this point, your chest will fully expand. Then lower the arms back to the starting position. Now follow me to practice the full sequence once. First, master this foundational movement. Then settle fully into the practice. Step 1. Inhale deeply. Extend and push forward. Then inhale. Push outward to both sides. Inhale. Push forward. Inhale. Exhale as you execute the lateral push. Upon completing the practice, lower your hands to your sides. Bring your hands together, placing them at the dantian. Position your tongue, resting the tip gently against the hard palate. Maintain this posture for 1 minute, then relax. All right, next up, let's practice together 9 times. Upon completing these 9 cycles, we will conclude the practice. Before we start, watch closely. Stand with your feet shoulder width apart. Throughout the practice, don't force yourself to inhale deeply. Do not hold your breath with strain. Maintain soft, smooth, and unforced breathing at all times. Your mind, your intention, your consciousness must be fully gathered and focused within the body. Then, cultivate awareness of the sensation during inhalation. Perceive how qi feels and circulates within the body. During exhalation, feel the turbid, stagnant qi being expelled from the body. Only when you fully immerse your mind and body in the practice, you can truly experience it. Now let's practice this 9 times. Throughout the entire process, I will not provide verbal instructions, so you may follow my movements and practice in sync. Let us commence the practice. Alright, after 1 minute, now slowly open your eyes. Now, take a moment to cultivate awareness and observe if your lower dantian feels grounded and full. You may even perceive the movement of qi or a gentle warmth accumulating in the area. For this exercise, with consistent long-term practice, you will begin to perceive a distinct sensation in your lower dantian, a state of fullness or a mild natural distension. This is entirely normal and a positive sign of qi circulation. Therefore, during the practice of this movement, as you extend your hands outward, you may experience a profound sense of your entire thoracic cavity opening with qi flowing unobstructed. And as you extend your hands outward to the sides, do you perceive your thoracic cavity expanding and opening? Then, at your fingertips, you may experience a subtle movement of qi circulating through them. In truth, this is an indication that as you cultivate and guide qi, the qi is already responding and interacting with you. When you become aware of this qi with each inhalation and exhalation, you draw the energy of heaven and earth and replenish your dantian with it. And when you exhale, you expel the turbid qi, the stale, stagnant, and pathogenic qi from your body. That's why this is the first stage of qi replenishment, the phase of gathering and storing qi. The practice you just performed is not a form of depletion, but rather accumulates and stores it within you. Even a 10-minute practice will yield the full benefits of those 10 minutes. If you practice for 30 minutes, you'll gain the full benefits of 30 minutes. What you are cultivating and storing is your innate life key. The preceding exercises of qi replenishment and breathing have assisted you in storing qi within the dantian. However, once this vital qi is accumulated, if it remains stagnant and fails to circulate, it devolves into stagnant, lifeless water. It must circulate throughout the entire body to nourish the 5 Zen organs and the 6 Fu organs. This is precisely the role of standing meditation. It is one of the most profound and miraculous practices in traditional. Externally, it appears motionless, yet internally, qi and blood are quietly surging and circulating. The previous stage focused on oxygen intake, while this stage is about moving qi and transmitting it throughout the entire body to every region in need of nourishment. Next, we begin the practice, mobilizing the qi you have replenished. We refer to this as the Kaihi stance. The preparatory steps are the same. First, ensure a complete evacuation of the bladder and bowels. Wear unrestricted clothing. Maintain a quiet environment for the practice. I will explain this movement in a step-by-step manner. First, assume a stance with feet shoulder-width apart. Next, position your hands appropriately. Extend and open your arms outward to the sides. Then, adduct your arms to form a circle, as if holding a rounded sphere in front of your body. Prior to assuming this holding the ball posture, watch closely how I open and close my arms. Maintain a slight flexion in the knees, settling into a grounded, rooted half-squat stance. Then, rise gently and open your arms outward to the sides. However, during this arm opening movement, do not fully extend or straighten your arms. Maintain a slight flexion, as if embracing the sun and moon in a gesture of universal receptivity. Let us review the movement again. Flex the knees, sink into a squat, and adduct the stance. Then rise gently and abduct the stance. Subsequently, flex the knees, sink into a squat, and adduct the stance once again. Throughout this entire sequence, you must cultivate awareness of the qi sensation within the body. When abducting the stance, you will perceive the entire body filled with qi and ascending. As you flex your knees and sink into the squat, you will perceive the gathering and containment of qi within the body. Subsequently, flex the knees and sink into a striding squat once more. Throughout each of these movements, the muscles, bones, and meridians are all being cultivated and exercised. Throughout the entire practice sequence, you must maintain awareness of your respiration. As the body opens, inhale. As the body descends, exhale. During this exercise, complete immersion and focused intention are required. If your focus is insufficient, if your mind scatters, if your thoughts wander aimlessly, the practice will never yield its full therapeutic benefit. Therefore, during practice, You must maintain full awareness of the bodily sensations. Your respiration must follow a natural, unforced rhythm. As you execute each movement, perceive the circulation of qi within the body. The qi must be maintained in a continuous, flowing state. There is no need to construct any visual imagery or scenes in the mind. Simply focus your intention on perceiving the movement of qi within the body as it circulates throughout the entire body. Here it is. In this exercise, we will not count repetitions. We will practice for a duration of 1 minute. Throughout the practice, immerse yourself completely and focus on the bodily sensations. As you execute the arcing movement, perceive the circulation of qi within the body. Cultivate awareness of that sensation. Now, let us commence the practice together. Upon completion, we will relax to conclude the session. Throughout this exercise, you may close your eyes to perceive the qi or keep your eyes open. Once you are in a state of complete relaxation, gently lift your feet just lightly to relax the muscles and release stagnation. Now, perceive the sensations in the body. Do you experience a vigorous, warm qi ascending throughout the body? Do you perceive mild internal warmth? And during respiration and movement, do you feel a profound sense of comfort and harmony? As you practice this standing meditation, if you reflect mindfully, when you flex your knees and sink into the stance and then rise back to standing, you will perceive your feet pressing firmly into the earth. You will experience a profound rootedness and connection to the ground. Your stance will become as stable as a mountain, as though you have taken root like a tree. Actually, a tree reaches great heights precisely because its roots are deep. For individuals to possess strong bones and sinews, it is precisely because their feet are firmly rooted to the earth, as if they have taken root. Therefore, through this standing meditation practice, it can send the qi stored in your body to every part of you that needs nourishment. Simultaneously, guide the qi to descend to the feet, establishing a deep root beneath the body. Allow the qi to infuse the 5 zang organs and the 6 fu organs, and enhance the physiological function of the internal organs. Simultaneously, regions of the body that have become weakened or impaired will initiate repair and recovery. Furthermore, this circulation of qi, this powerful vital energy during your standing meditation practice can permeate the tendons and bones, strengthening the physical body and enhancing its vitality. Just now, you all experienced the full process of the 2 stages of replenishing qi. One is qi breathing, which stores qi. Another one is standing meditation, which helps the body receive and circulate it. One gathers, one transforms, one receives, one releases. They create a whole cycle of replenishment when combined. If you feel it particularly strongly, it indicates that your body is in desperate need of replenishing qi. Many people, after the first experience, will say, "I never realized that I had been living in a state of deficit all along. I didn't know what it meant to be full until now." But do you have any doubts about how long this sense of fullness can last? Maybe half an hour, or maybe half a day. After that, you ended up going back to restarting and carrying on. Why? Because you merely made a single quick resupply, and the recharge wasn't even complete. You've been depleting your qi for decades, and such depletion takes time to replenish. The fact that organ sheds qi in a different way is more significant. For instance, Excessive anxiety and overthinking depletes the heart's qi, the vitality of the heart. During the process of your concern, the function of the human heart gradually deteriorates and its vitality becomes less and weaker. On the other hand, excessive thinking, like thinking about things all the time, reduces the energy of the spleen, which is basically our spleen qi. Excessive consumption of your spleen's qi can cause worry, sleeplessness, insomnia, and anxiety. The liver's energy will be rapidly depleted by this because persistent sleep deprivation is one of the biggest stressors on the liver. As a result, your liver's qi will not be able to heal and regenerate itself. Fear and worry are another element that uses up the majority of our kidneys' qi because the kidneys suffer from anxiety. On the contrary, a person who lacks kidneys' qi will become even more terrified. Additionally, speaking too much exhausts the qi in our lungs. You've been speaking for a long time, so your lungs must be able to operate well enough. When your lung function becomes weaker, the more you talk, the more you deplete the qi of your lung. That's why the breathing exercises we just did all return to the same principle, gathering qi into the dantian. Because the energy contained in our bodies is located in the dantian of the human body, qi will fill the organ that requires it. If the qi stored in your dantian is insufficient, you basically don't have the energy to maintain and heal any internal organs once they get sick. Therefore, getting a refill on occasion is merely a simple experience. A complete transformation can only be achieved by methodical and systematic efforts to exactly restore the qi of the internal organs, while also instructing you how to repair every leak. This is the core of our Qigong breathing method. This series of courses, I will use different breathing techniques to precisely replenish the qi of the 5 internal organs: heart, liver, spleen, lung, and kidney. In order to guarantee that the restored qi may fully enter each meridian and our internal organs, we will also employ standing meditation and Qigong at the same time, thereby enhancing the vitality of our cells. Along with fixing weaknesses in each organ, I will also demonstrate to you how to boost the production and reduce leakage in daily life. If you only focus on increasing supply, but don't reduce leakage, whatever you replenish will easily leak out. That's why it's essential to stop the leaks. You can also interpret it as a comprehensive upgrade of the life energy system. This is a full replacement of your reservoir rather than a temporary refill with water. Also, I'll show you how to maintain a constant state of full water. You shouldn't miss our systematic course if you're fed up with the helplessness of having great aspirations yet failing to take action, or if you don't want to be continuously exhausted by emotions, strained relationships, and recurrent health issues, or if you genuinely want to give yourself an opportunity to replenish your vital energy.